all about. So a lot of the containers I'm going to work with are some small containers, some different unusual containers that no one would ever think about putting plants in. There's a whole different aspect of how to create something. Mixing plants. A lot of the times people will look at a house plant and they'll say, well, geez, this plant has to stay in the house, it can't go outside. But again, your greenhouse plants, they like partial sun, not full sun. They like a shaded area. So why not take some of your greenhouse plants and you could mix, actually, this can go in with a mixture like this, and I'll show you the different plants that you could mix in a shaded garden, which is Jacob's ladder. So I'll do a variation and show you how you can interpret all these different plants into a nice garden setting. Again, it's important that you use a good soil mix for your planters. This I happen to like, the Miracle Grow potting mix. It has the food in it, and it's on the moisture side when you work with it. A lot of the soils that if you see a good deal on potting soil, you know, the old saying, you have to pay for it. And it dries out and it doesn't last. But when you get something like this, you can see already it's moist. And it's always fun to get dirty. All right, I'm going to start off with something very small. Typical little birdhouse here. And someone will see this and they'll say, well, geez, what am I going to do with this? Birds won't go in it, it's just going to hang in my yard. Well, actually, you could take something like this and you could make a little planter out of it. So if you have a little area, you can just take a little plant here. These are, it's called Novellis, it's Plant Works. This is a sedum. So this will be in a sunny spot. Or actually when you repot a plant too. And what's nice about this comes up every year outside. If the piece breaks off, you just stick it in the ground and it will root. And I have this in my garden. And when you see a root clump like this, never be afraid. Just break it into roots like this. People, the majority of the times, they'll take something out of the pot and just plop it right in. And sometimes the roots don't get established in the pot. So that's what you want to work with. And actually, you can use some of the soil here. And you don't have to worry about putting too much in this little hole here. You can just fit this in. Water always works wonders, and just fit that right down in here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I can get two plants like this. Because then again, that little plant, by the end of the season, will be just as good. I'm going to plant this in here. Of course, everything looks pretty bad after it's first transplanted. But if you have a little sunny spot, you can just take something like this. Hose it down, and as this grows, it will hang and it will fill out. It will have little flowers on it when it blooms. So you have a nice little novelty item to hang in the garden. It's very simple. So that's one little thing. And the same thing would apply for these hanging baskets. People will see something like this, they'll shove a pot in it. Silk flowers, different plants. Then again, you just take a plastic bag. Which I'm sure we get enough of the plastic bags in the grocery stores. Just do a little liner here like so. Just line that. And actually you could punch some holes right in the bag too. And if you take a little right in the plant. It's kind of nice too if you have a nice garden. want to write names of your plants so you know what they are. There's a lot of different botanical names. Here, I'm just going to see how the ivy, now this will hang and grow. And actually with this too, when it grows, you can actually trim it. You can trim the ivy as it grows and then evens off. You can wrap it around the handle, bring it up in here to give it a different look. So we have an ivy in here. And this will be a shaded area for the ivy, not full sun, because if you put this in the full sun, it will actually burn. And here we're going to use this little house plant here. This is Hyalea. Yep, it's still the same name. I noticed over the years sometimes they change the names of different plants. So I'm just going to plant this in here. This actually has a little white flower when it blooms as a house plant. So here you can have two different textures in your little basket. So as it grows, as long as you water it, fertilize it, so you have two different house plants that you can actually use inside your house or even outside. If you have a porch area, something different. You'd be surprised if you put something different in your garden, people will notice it. Yes? Oh yeah, there's plenty of dirt, and actually what happens, you know, the roots will all incorporate in here with the dirt, so there's plenty, because the dirt is right down into here. And actually, if you don't like doing vegetable gardening in the ground, in the earth, or if you don't have a spot, if you have a condo, an apartment, you get the different sizes like this, these are great for vegetables. You start off with a tomato plant. If you want the patio type tomatoes, the little small tomatoes, just start off the same way. And look at that root system on here. So just break it down a little. Again, the tomato is going to be the focal point in this planter. We'll plant this towards the back. So as it grows, you have your height, and then you have to stake it. You just keep it staked. And actually, you can trim off some of the foliage on a tomato. Even in the garden, if you cut back a lot of this, these are considered suckers, and they take away from the plant as far as producing, you know, the fruit. Does anybody know the key how to get a good sweet tomato in the garden? No? Sugar. You plant your tomatoes, and when they start to grow, take a ring of sugar, put sugar around it. And as the plant absorbs the nutrients and everything absorbs the sugar, and you'll get a good sweet tomato. So it's a good trick. It could be brown sugar, it could be any type of sugar, and you get a good sweet tomato. All right, so we'll start with the tomato. We're going to use some lettuce. Now you could do these boxes with all herbs. If you like all natural herbs, you can do that. So here we're just going to use, I'll start off with just some lettuce here. Just in the front. Because again, your tomato will be high. Your lettuce will go in the front. Like so. Then as this grows, you know to pick it. And it keeps growing. People make the mistake that when the lettuce gets so high, they just pull the whole thing out. And the trick is just to cut it back, and then it keeps producing. And then we have some squash. What? And
There's an awful lot of vegetables there.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Well, of course, you can use a larger container too. But this will, squash will grow. And as it hangs down, you have to put it in an area where you're going to have the room. If you have it on a deck, on a railing, you let it hang down. You just plant it at the edge of the container. And believe me, this works because I've done it. They always experiment and try different things, and if it works, fine. If it doesn't, well, then you start all over again and you try it. It's experiment. So as this grows, it grows down. You have the tomato, you have your lettuce. You just can add some of your.
You buy a miniature tomato plant?
You can use the patio tomatoes, the small ones. And they only grow about this high. I mean, if you're going to use the big, beefsteak tomatoes, well, no, the plant's going to overdo it. And I'm just coating just some of the. Then if you're going to use the larger plants, then you use the large tubs that they have here, the big planters. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of what you can do with the planters. Instead of just buying petunias and patience and marigolds. The adventuresome.
Get some of that moss.
So this is just a little idea for a little garden. Of course, you can use a larger one, something like this. You can experiment. You do this as a little herb basket. If you don't have the room. Now, actually, what you can do with something like this is recycle the pot, or here, let's use something like this. That would fit perfect. Right into that. When you're recycling something, using it for a season. Some more dirt. It's a mess, but it's good. It's a good feeling.
It's a good mess.
Especially now with this weather. I mean, well, the sun's coming out now. When you're actually working with plants, it's just push this down. A little bit of dirt in here. Some nice oregano. This is always a challenge if you plant this in the garden. This comes up every year. You can't get rid of it. The root system on this is amazing. But you'd never be out of oregano.
Mine grows all winter.
Same thing. So actually, this will hang over. This will be nice and full. And let's go with rosemary. This is nice. Some winters, the rosemary here will survive. And some winters, it just doesn't make it. But it's good for cooking. And you can put one of these right in here. The oregano. So actually, you can train the rosemary to grow down. It's almost like a bonsai effect with the rosemary. If you use a small wire, you could bring it down as it branches out and just train it to hang. So actually, this one, I originally said a shaded area, but we'll have to use a sunny spot for this. But outside of the kitchen door, you have a sunny spot. You just have something, you can go out, pick what you need. And then again, we use the moss just to keep the dirt in. And I noticed a lot of the hanging baskets. How many of you, if you have a hanging basket, how many of you get the house finches? Do they come in and make a nest in your baskets? You know, when I had the flower shop, I would bring these in for the season, and I'd have them hanging outside, and the finches would come and start making nests in them, and I'm like, I can't say no. But then this just keeps the dirt, so if you water it, you can have a nice little herb basket. You can do this with chives, you can do it with parsley, you can do actually the two that I had. You can do, oh, here it is. You can do a small one like this with herbs. You can do a double planter like this.